Hello and welcome to Nathan and Tanner's. We're sort of like going to merge our podcast together again, sort of mumbling off away here. We don't really know what to call it yet, but Tara and I, we're merging our podcast again. We're going to do this once or twice a month, and we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about ignorance is not bliss, some truths, and even some solutions to how to break free from this stuff, self-sabotage, and we're also going to talk about our experience with the Freedom from Self-Sabotage coaching program as well. I think Jason's opening up the program in the next month or two. So we'll share our experiences and how we went with the coaching program as well for those that will be interested. We'll put a link to that in the bottom, and there'll be a lot of this show notes will be quite compactful, compiled together list here. So there will be some links to everything we talk about in the show notes that you can take away and do your own research on. But without any further ado, Tanner, welcome again, mate. I love talking to you. I love having you on. I love merging our podcasts. I love working with you, and I'm so grateful to have met you. So let's rock and roll.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Thanks for the intro.
Nice, brother.
Definitely always love working with you too, Nathan. And yeah, the show notes, they might end up getting long. So we might have to put them, link them to our website or something like that. Yep. If they get too long. So I know, when Jason does it, he has to link it to his show notes. So we're likely going to have to do that, I think, possibly, depending on how long we talk here. But yeah, I mean, so I feel like this is a really interesting and important thing to talk about, right?
Especially in times we're in now.
Yeah, there's a common saying, ignorance is bliss, right? And that's total bullshit, is really what it is, right? Ignorance is not bliss, because what you don't know can and will hurt you and possibly your family and your loved ones, right? So we've seen it time and time again. We saw it with the injections. We see it with food. We see it with all different kinds of products, aluminum and deodorants. We see it with Teflon pans. So we'll be talking about a lot of different just things that people commonly use that is really just not well known, or things that people commonly do that's not well known, that's really dangerous and harmful to you in a form of self-sabotage. And actually, I did a solo a video of this a while back called 14 Reasons Not to Trust the Science, and it got censored off. Yeah, it got censored off YouTube. So we'll see if this one gets censored. Who knows? But we're gonna tell the truth anyways, because really the world needs it. Isn't that right, Nathan?
Yeah, the world does need it. Yep, I agree. And I feel like everything that's being put here that's toxic, a dog barking, just bear with me. Everything that's being put here that is toxic is convenient. That's the Teflon pans, convenient. It's all microwave is another one. Yep. The radio. It's pretty much everything that's been put here that's convenient is toxic for you. So it's taking away it's all time, right? All time. It's we took things and prepare things and do things that we used to do, but now that the convenience is here, it just, it's put as this shiny thing to save time when it's really here to blast you off the planet, as Jason says.
Definitely, yeah. And that's so true. I mean, if we look at what self-sabotage is, right? Most self-sabotaging actions is because you're thinking short term, you're wanting the instant gratification. And that's really what a lot of these things are, is just the short-term thinking. And that's kind of the way they've designed our society and a lot of these things, because they know people have been programmed and just naturally want something shorter, right? Want something easier. Oh, we got this convenient diet pill. You're going to lose all this weight, right? We got this magical injection. You don't have to worry about eating healthy and taking care of your body. You can just get this magical injection and you're protected from viruses and diseases. You're totally fine, right? But that's not the way health works. That's not the way any of this works. And once again, I do want to say this is I don't want you to trust anything that we say. That's why we're putting things in the show notes, right? I don't want you, the whole point of this podcast is that we don't want you to just trust the science, right? If you learned about science in school, you likely learned that in science, you don't just trust someone's results. You try to disprove the results, right? A science mind is a skeptical mind. You're trying to disprove what you've seen and really you're trying to find the information. Like, look at both sides of the information. Say, okay, what is really the truth here? Like, do they have anything to gain? Is there any biases? Right? Are they actually using control groups? Are they actually doing legit studies? Because the thing about studies is they can be very biased, right? Like, you got to look who's funding the studies, right? So a common one is caffeine. People will be like, oh, no way my caffeine is bad for me. But then if you look at who funds those like scientific studies that say, oh, 1 cup of coffee is good for you a day. These things, it helps your metabolism, it helps all these things. Well, the number one funder into caffeine research is Pepsi, Coca-Cola. Do you really think that they're going to, like, just think about this, listeners, and like, do you really think that Coca-Cola and Pepsi, two companies that make so much money from caffeine products, are going to be releasing studies that talk negatively about their number one selling products that are also addictive, that also get people to think short term, so they're not thinking about these kind of things, and they're just continuing to consume, right? And how common is Coca-Cola? How common is Pepsi products, right? You see these things everywhere.
They're everywhere.
It's crazy. I mean, and a great book for this is Caffeine Blues, that talks about this. So we'll put that in the show notes as well. Caffeine Blues is a great source of information with tons of articles cited and studies cited that really talks about the harms of caffeine. So, what do you think about that, Nathan?
Oh, it's obviously like it's everywhere though. Like cafe, the Coke and the Pepsi, they own little companies too. Like your bottled water is owned by either Pepsi or Coca-Cola.
Dasani.
Yeah, same thing. It's like they they even own the water that they say is, spring water. I don't even think it's spring water. It really isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's heavily advertised as well. Millions and millions of dollars that they steal from us is pushed into the advertising that, And then there's a reason why people are drawn to drink these things too. It's because they're, when you're in a low state of vibration, you're feeling negative, feeling sad, stressed, you feel drawn to these things. It's just a deep embedded program inside your subconscious mind. That's all it is. You get the conscious awareness, you change your thoughts, you change your life, you change your mind, do all those things. You can easily wean off these things. But yeah, caffeine's the big one. Like you see it in all the TV shows, you see it in the movies. First 5 minutes of a movie scene, what do you see? Coffee cup, kettle, someone even drinking coffee, maybe. Like, where was Friends set? Friends was set in a cafe basically, and they hung out there in every single episode. They heavily put this stuff out there for us to consume. But they also say, what do people do in the morning when they get up? Well, they have a coffee before they go to work. I see it all the time. People are walking into their shitty soulless jobs with their cup of coffee, and as Jason says, it's to make the slavery feel groovy, and that's why coffee's here. It's to make your shitty job feel good. It's to make the slavery and the shitty job that you're working that you hate feel good because you're sedating it with coffee. And people go, I can't get off it. It's like, yeah, because you're addicted to it. But there's a way out. There's always a way out. So, and people often say as well, I got to have my 3 or 4 cups of coffee a day. Otherwise, I won't make it through the day. That's obviously a massive, deep embedded program. But as what we can do is we can help you break free from that cycle,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and like there's that short video it makes me think of, like, where the reporter goes in to get her brain scanned, the MRI, right? We'll put that link down here below. It's like 2-minute video. And she goes in to get an MRI done on her brain before drinking coffee. So she has no caffeine in her system at all. Then after drinking coffee, and it's just 1 cup, 1 8-ounce cup of coffee, right? And so like, okay, really, how much could 1 cup of coffee do, right? Her brain flow, like the amount of blood in her brain was reduced by 40%. So it's going to be slightly different for everyone, but it's going to be around 40% less blood in your brain, meaning that when you have less blood in your brain, what part of your brain does it take it from? It takes it from the actual critical thinking part of your mind, the conscious mind, the prefrontal cortex, and it just leaves on the primal part of your mind. And the reason why it does this is because the primal part of your mind is actually there to protect you in those kind of situations when you have less blood. And well, really, why is the blood leaving your brain? Because it activates your cortisol levels. It boosts up your cortisol levels, which is really the same thing that happens when you go into flight or flight mode, flight or flight response mode. So your blood's going to your arms, your legs, so that you can stand your ground and fight. Like if you're encountering like a saber-toothed tiger or like a bear or something like that, or someone who's gonna mug you, or you're gonna take ground and run. Like if you're gonna be running from those things, or like a car's coming your way, you don't have time to think about it. So that's why they kind of turn off your logical thinking part of your brain. You don't sit there and think, well, I could run, or I could fight. No, your brain's gonna be like, we're gonna do this right now. Let's go. Right. Yep. It's gonna be that short-term thinking. And so people are stuck in that short-term thinking because they're always consumed with caffeine, and it has a long half-life. So if you're drinking multiple times throughout the day, it's likely that you're still going to have caffeine in your system even as you're going to sleep, which is going to affect your sleep. And caffeine, despite what people think it does, it doesn't actually provide you energy, right? That thing that's important to talk about, because let's say this is your heart. My fist is like a heart, right? And when you like do it's not like a hard clenched fist. It's just like it just has like some space between it, and you're just kind of pumping it, right? You can sit there pumping your fist for a long time like this. But let's say when you're on caffeine, your fist is really tight and you try to keep pumping it like that for a long time, your fist is you're gonna lose power to be able to do that much quicker than if you had the light grip. So really what it's doing is it's stressing it out. It's constricting the blood vessels. And that's where you get that alert feeling, because you're in that flight or flight response mode. So it doesn't actually give you energy. It uses it all up in a short period, because it's trying to help you protect yourself. Because really the caffeine activates that flight or flight. It's like, because it's a poison to your body, right? Plants have caffeine inside the plant as like a defense mechanism against bugs. Because when bugs eat the plants with caffeine, they're like, oh, I don't like that. So like they leave it. And so, but humans, of course, don't listen to that instinct with their bodies. So we're not really in tune with it. And so that's why you'll find it on every corner, right? Because it helps you, it keeps you thinking short term, which is really what the people in charge want us to do. Because if you're not thinking long term, you're not logically thinking, you're not thinking about, oh, is this really the best for me and my family to be working 9 to 5 every day? Is this really the best thing for me to do? Be putting these toxins inside my body? Exactly. Is this really, am I going to get anywhere? Am I going to get to a better point in my life if I just go home and watch Netflix all day and drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes and smoke marijuana? Or is it going to keep me stuck? We don't think about it. We just think the short-term thing, because we're in that short-term thinking.
Yep. No, it's absolutely spot on. And it's also a good way to numb pain too. Drinking the coffee and drinking the alcohol and sitting down and watching TV and doing those things as well. It's a good way to also numb our pain and sedate ourselves too. It's time for humanity and for us now to start rising up and start taking some action in our lives and start looking ourselves in the mirror and going, okay, well, am I where I want to be? Am I the best version of myself? Am I healthy? Am I honest? Like, start asking yourself these questions, and you'll often get the answer. I just find that a lot of people here now are just like, they're in so much pain. There's so much pain out there, and it's time to release that pain. Because I wrote a blog about it the other week, and put a link in that as well. I wrote a blog about the truth within inside of us shall set us free. Everyone wants these world truths to come out. Everyone wants the truth to come out. But the question we need to be asking ourselves is, are we honest with ourselves and with those around us? Are we lying? Are we cheating? Are we stealing? Are we doing these things still that's not truthful, not honest? I see it as Mother Earth right now is cleansing her energy. She's cleansing her negative darkness, right? Well, we can help shift that too, because we are a part of her. We're here as well. So if we shift and cleanse and clear our darkness and be honest with ourselves and those around us, it helps the planet shift. That's the shift we're currently in. So if we're honest, and we're cleansing our darkness and cleansing our negative energy, it has a profound impact on those around us and has a profound impact on all of humanity. All the lies, all the darkness, all the deceit, everything, like it's all there. Let's set that truth free from inside of us to set the truth free within and around the world. Otherwise, this perpetual cycle will continue. That's how I say it.
I agree. I mean, we're human magnets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we have going on inside of us is what we're going to attract. So if we want something new in the world, we all have to look inwards and start changing ourselves.
Yeah,
and that can actually change the world. So I mean, I think that's you're right on, right? Like you got to look inwards, you got to do that work. Yeah. And I think I want to address something, when we're talking about these kind of things, people are like, oh, is it going to kill me? Well, it might not kill you right away. You can probably survive and drink caffeine. You could definitely survive and drink caffeine. You might even live to a long age. Is it gonna? The question you got to ask yourself: is it gonna lead you to your best life?
Exactly. Right? That's a good question I didn't think of before.
Because, is it gonna lead to your best life? Because think about this: your brain is your number one asset making. Number one way to make money. Number one way to get a good relationship in your life. Number one way to enjoy what's your experiences. Number one way just to experience life, because your brain is how you do that, right? So if you are constantly taking your brain down a notch, turning off parts of your brain, then you're literally leaving yourself at a disadvantage in life. So that's a really big form of self-sabotage, and that's why caffeine, energy drinks, certain kinds of chocolate, certain prescription medications, there's even little shots of caffeine now people are taking, coffee, all those things, they all really have an effect on you a lot more than people think. You're like, oh, a little bit's not going to hurt me, or everything in moderation. But what do people say when everything? What does that really mean? Everything in moderation. So you want a little bit of rat poison in moderation?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want a little bit of that? Well, no, that'd be ridiculous. Well, why? It's you said everything in moderation, right? Well, not everything. That's really bad for me. Well, caffeine is not good for your body too. So how come you're accepting that, right? You got to start thinking about those things. Really, everything in moderation, everything in balance is trying to rationalize, or everyone needs advice. Is trying to rationalize your self-sabotaging action. So we don't say this to make you feel bad, just to help you, make you aware. Are you really saying this because you think it's going to be good for you? It's actually a good thing to do, or you're rationalizing something that is really not the best for you, right? I think that's really important to talk about, because a lot of people don't think about it that way, right? It's such a common phrase, everything in moderation, or everyone needs advice. I know you did a talk about that, right? On a little video.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did a talk on that, but it's even that's just a deep embedded program within the human psyche too. It's because in every morning show, news bulletins, papers, Facebook, social media, all those things are saying, they say wine on a Friday night's healthy. They say 6 to 10 glasses of alcohol is good for you. They're saying caffeine will help you with your I read a bogus study the other day saying that caffeine can help with erections and shit. It's no, it doesn't. It does the opposite. When you see these things for what they truly are, it's literally the opposite. So if they're saying caffeine's good for you, no, caffeine's not good for you. It's the same thing with the sun. If they're saying sunlight causes cancer, seriously, fucking Jesus, honestly, the sun does not cause cancer. Your toxic sunscreen does. It's the opposite of everything. So when the government tell you to lock down and wear a mask because it's good for your health, well, no, it's not. It's the opposite. Just turn your back on that and be like, well, I'm going to do the opposite of what you say, because what you say is wrong. Mother Nature's the best thing for us, and they're keeping us away from Mother Nature. They're keeping us out of these places. They're trying so hard to disconnect ourselves from ourselves and from nature, that they're saying nature's bad for us. Come here and stay in this little cycle here and have your meds and have your toxic food, have your soft drink, have your wine, have your alcohol, have your coffee, have all of these substances, but stay away from Mother Earth. She causes cancer. She causes all these dangerous, scary things. Wake up, people. It's not fucking scary. The stuff they're doing to you is scary. Mother Nature's not scary. Mother Nature's love. Mother Nature is love. She's peace. She's joy. She's harmony. She's everything. That's our connection, not that substance, man-made bullshit. Get back out in the earth-made stuff. Get your feet in the grass. Do all these things. Connect with nature. Connect with yourself, and your life will change because you're turning your back on that system, turning your back on those substances. Getting back into nature is the best thing for us. Always has been, always will be. It's written in history. Even the history they gave us, which is rubbish as well, is written everywhere. Like, that's our connection. We're connected to nature. So get the fuck back out in there, people. Let's go.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, even in the name, right? Mother Nature.
Nature. Yeah.
What's a mother do? It provides nutrition. It provides care. It provides love. So you're spot on, right? Like, Mother Nature is there to provide nutrition for us, provide love, provide care, provide regeneration, right? What does a mother do for a baby? It's there to care for it, to keep it warm, to keep it loved, to keep it have that nutrition so it can keep growing.
Mother Nature has medicine. It has medicine. It has like fresh fruit and veggies. It has nuts. It has seeds. It has all the things that it's like all of that stuff. Growing with consciousness and growing with love is all good for us. It's the stuff they give us, which is a reflection of that. Like the medications and all these substances can't exist if nature didn't. It's a reflection of nature. It's basically an inversion of it. So it's a bad, toxic, poison version of what nature provides for us. And what nature provides for us is what we've been provided with for thousands of years that humanity's existed for. It's just that now they've turned us against that and have said, okay, we'll pump money into all these meds that are, going to make you healthy. Well, no, go and eat a fucking strawberry. That's healthier for you than a fucking remdesivir or a Ritalin or one of those fucking medications that they were giving people with COVID. Go and have a strawberry. Go and pick yourself an organic strawberry and you'll feel so much better for it.
Definitely. I mean, what kind of drink you got there? Because I
got
a drink, right?
I got a green juice. I put some detoxify powder in here with some super greens that I get from the local organic store. I've got some spinach, some kale, bit of lemon, bit of orange, bit of turmeric, bit of ginger, apple cider vinegar, and some water. It's just a detoxing drink I drink every morning. It's late morning here in Australia. And I have my little detox drink every morning. It's good. Makes me feel energized during the day. I find I never really drank coffee. I never really had a drink in the morning anyway, but I find having a drink like this at about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning gets me through to lunchtime because I fast every day. I do intermittent fasting, which is also good for you. They also tell you that fasting's no good for you. You must eat. Well, no, fasting is very, very good for you, actually. And I do that, and I have this drink to substitute about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and better for me than coffee.
Definitely. I mean, let's talk about why that provides why that provides you energy, right? Like,
it's all organic too. It's all from Mother Nature. So, I'm getting my daily greens in and I feel so much better. Like I don't have to drink it. I feel better without it but I just love drinking. It makes my body feel good. So I drink or eat what my body wants and needs, and I feel good doing it. So, we can all do this though. It's not just us sitting here on our high horses being like, oh, we're so perfect. No, we're not perfect, but we do things that make us feel good. And we don't drink coffee or drink alcohol and do these things that are considered normal. No, we're a bit alternative as another program. We're just doing what feels good. And I drink this every day, or most days, because it feels good and I love drinking it. And it provides me hydration at a cellular level. It's not just plain water. There's a heap of stuff in here, but at the base of it's water, yeah. So yeah, that's just how I see it.
Yeah, I mean,
that little tirade.
I mean, it provides you nutrients, which is why you're eating and consuming in the first place, right?
Exactly.
You need those nutrients, you need those minerals, so your body can actually
function,
run efficiently. Like, you got to think of your body like a nice sports car, right? If you're putting crappy fuel in it, it's going to start to break down. If you're not giving it maintenance, like working out and doing those sorts of things and doing meditations and taking care of your body, doing some grounding, it's going to start to break down. A lot of people are treating their nice sports cars, which is their bodies, like junkers, like $500 junker cars that no one cares about. Like, oh, I spent $500 on this. I'm just put the worst fuel in here and not really take care of it, right? But in all reality, we all have like nice Ferraris. Well, we should, but they're kind of getting broken down right now at this point. You got to take care of your body, and that's something that is just core baseline. Like, take care of yourself, right? It's an act of self-love.
It is,
but unfortunately, our society has turned it into eating for pleasure.
Yeah, right? Or eating away your emotions, or eating away your pain, or like, what do you see in the movies and in the TV shows when they go through a bad breakup or they go through something hard, considered really hard and tough? What do? They either grab a smoke, they either grab a drink or both, smoke, drink, eating chocolate. Like, it's a program. So what do people out there in society go and do when they have something tough, go through something tough? What do? Those three things, maybe go and find someone else to go and be with and cheat with as well. Like, it's all in the TV shows and in the movies. So what are people going to do when they're going through their tough day? They're going to pick up those things too. It's all in the TV and movies. Like, you look at the daily soap operas that are out there. What are they based on? Lying, cheating, and stealing. But what is humanity doing right now? Most of them. There's an element of lying in there to themselves and to those around them. There's definitely cheating and probably some stealing too. Like, we turn our back on those things and connect with ourselves again. We're not going to go and lie and cheat and steal because we have our morality and our ethics back in touch. We get back in touch with ourselves. We understand what's right and what's wrong. And currently what's being pushed on humanity right now is being pushed as right. But as I said before, it's the opposite. It's wrong. It's so wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we look at it. I mean, it's not just one area, right? It's not just coffee. It's not just caffeine. It's not just in the food. It's in the products, like Teflon pans.
Here we go.
Non-stick pans, just in general.
A good documentary is called The Devil We Know. So you can find on YouTube. We'll put a link down the bottom. It explains the Teflon pan agenda, the whole thing, why it's here, and it's convenient.
Yep. It's extremely toxic to your body. And
slow drip poisons.
It's everywhere. The government knows. This is the thing. The government knows that all these things are bad for us, right?
Oh, they know.
There's so many lawsuits. There's so many things. A lot of these things, some of these things are even like, some of these like chemical additives and like foods and stuff are even banned in Europe and things like that.
Not banned in Australia. We have them all here.
Oh yeah, and same here in America, right? They're not banned at all. Like, I don't know what the FDA is really doing, and tell you the truth, like they're not doing their job. I guess depends on how you're looking at it. They're not doing the job of actually protecting Americans, but they're probably doing the job that they were actually meant to do, which is poison America. And I mean, conspiratorial is all you want, but you just look at the evidence of it. Like, look at the Teflon pans. Those are still being sold in the stores everywhere, despite the fact that they are toxic. They've been proven toxic. There's countless documentaries. There's countless just lawsuits that have been won in court proving that these are toxic and cancerous to your body. Then we can even talk about like
just with the Teflon pans, the worst part of it is when it's like aged a bit and then it starts scraping off. Like, you know how you could like cook something on it and then it will stick, but you're scraping it off and then you're scraping bits of the pan off. You eat that, that's not good. Like, if you're scraping it and you're taking chunks off the pan and it's on your food and you're eating that, mate, you got to steer clear. Like, as a simple solution, cast iron pans are really good. They last a lifetime. Yeah, yeah, they're expensive. They're $700 or whatever they are. It's like, well, that's a lifetime payment. You're not paying for more and more pans. If you keep paying for pans, you'll spend more than $700 in your lifetime on pans. I can guarantee you that. Just pay the one or twice $1,400 for a set of cast iron pans that, if they're well maintained, last a lifetime.
Yeah, or you can get stainless steel. Those work well too. I have those as well.
Yeah.
Stainless steel, cast iron, those are all great. But yeah, even like the good point about the scraping off, but even without it being scraped off, they've proven that it still leaches into the food.
Yep.
The chemical. I'm trying to think of the chemical's name that's in Teflon, but
yeah, I can't remember it
either.
It's in the documentary.
You'll find it pretty easily.
It's in the documentary, The Devil We Know. I watched it
The Devil We Know. You can definitely find it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's some toxic product, like hardcore. And there's so many of this, like these kind of products throughout history, right?
Underarm deodorants, hair care, facial care, like all these mainstream brands, obviously non-organic and are produced by man and these big companies. Well, all these big companies don't have humanity's best interests at heart. They're all here for this, and they'll put whatever they get told to put in it. Some of them don't even know what's in it, but most of it's crap. Most of it's toxic, like your underarm deodorants, your body sprays, your perfumes. Like there's even male ones out there now with all this toxic shit in it. Your shampoo, conditioner. Like there's organic alternative options out there. They do exist. Like I only wash my hair once every couple of weeks. Like I was actually losing some of my hair when I was going through my alcohol and stuff phase. Well, I'm not losing it anymore. Like, I'm not even going grey either, and I'm nearly 30, but like I don't have any toxins in me anymore. Well, I've got a few, but not as much as what I had.
Yeah.
You know, we do the best we can with what we have, and progression, not perfection. One day I will be toxin free, but there's still a few there. Like this shirt's toxic. Like our cotton that we wear, this isn't organic cotton. So this shirt's toxic, but I do the best I can. And I know that one day I'll be completely toxin free. And that's what we strive to be, is toxin free. But this computer's jamming with Wi-Fi right now. I'm going to do what Jason said in his survival podcast. I'm going to start hardwiring stuff, but that will come. So, you know, baby steps.
Definitely.
Remove the big ones. Remove the alcohol, remove the sugar, remove the coffee. And then as you progress through the list, you'll start finding that you'll have money to be able to get the cast iron pants, because you're not spending $800 a week on alcohol, or you're not spending money on porn or Netflix or all these things. You'll find that you'll be able to just slowly tick off the list, and you'll get to a stage where you'll start, I can go and get the cast iron pants. I can hardwire my computer. I can hardwire my my Wi-Fi. I can buy some Wi-Fi blocking stuff to help, when I have my phone on me. Like you can start ticking off that list. But if you can nail the big ones, get rid of the junk food, get rid of the coffee, get rid of the sugar, and get rid of the TV. They're your big ones. Get rid of them. The rest of it will take care of itself. Trust us, because we're living it now. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. Right. And that's a good point you make about just do one by one. Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people hear all this and they're like, so everything's toxic. So what can I even do? Right. You start to remove those things one by one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pick the biggest one. You'll know which one's the biggest. Mine was porn, alcohol, and what are my three? I should know that. Porn, alcohol, and toxic thoughts. I started with alcohol, cold turkey, done, finished. Worked out why I drank, because I was miserable. Okay. I changed my thoughts. I worked out why I was miserable and changed it. Alcohol, gone. Porn, I was scared of love. I was scared of having someone beside me physically. I was attracted to the internet girlfriend, the virtual girlfriend that this porn does. Okay. I was scared of love. Why was I scared of love? That little boy, Nathan, was scared of love because of what he was shown in different aspects of his life. Okay, I went back there and went, righto, Nathan, I love you. You feel safe. You are worthy. You're enough. You are loved. Right, porn, done. See you later. Yes, wasn't like that. It was a very hard process. I cried with that little boy, Nathan. My heart's open to love again now. I don't need porn. Don't need it. Doesn't resonate with me. Doesn't have the same frequency or the same vibration that it once had. Yes, I still get the temptations when I'm a little bit lower in vibration, but I'm consciously aware and I understand. I go, hang on, why am I drawn to that? What am I getting from porn that I can't get for myself? Oh, some love, some self-love. Okay. I love you, Nathan. I believe in everything you do. Success is yours. Whoop. I'm back up and about. See you later, porn. Don't need it. Just the things we say to ourselves too can be such a big difference. But in terms of this, just pick one. Pick one. Usually we might be porn, alcohol, coffee, smoking, vaping, gambling, one of those things that are considered, an addiction that are big. Pick one and just watch your life change once you start taking that first step towards your best self, because it's quite powerful stuff, especially when you get to the root cause of why you're doing it, and we can help you understand and get to the root cause of why you're doing it. Usually it's a program from childhood that we can easily insert new and better ones in there, in your subconscious mind. But it takes a bit of work, though. This work requires resilience, patience, and discipline.
Yep. Agreed. I mean, it's removing those things one by one. There's always natural alternatives. There's always other alternatives to these things, right?
Yeah, go down to your local organic store and see what they have. They'll have the produce, and they'll have all these products that you can get at your supermarkets. They have them too. Yeah, they're a few bucks more, but they're not full of toxic shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth spending that money, right? It's an investment in yourself. It's an investment in yourself, and it's important to give yourself that investment, because if you're not spending that money on yourself, I think number one investment you can make is really an investment in yourself, right? It's going to be profound in so many ways in all aspects of life.
Oh, I agree.
To invest in yourself, and it's really an act of self-love is really what it is. That's why I like to think of it. Whenever I'm spending extra money on organic food or on a course for myself or something like that, think about, I'm doing something nice for myself. I'm loving myself. I'm setting myself up for the life that I want, right? Whereas if you think about when you're buying food that's non-organic, if you're buying food that or caffeine or alcohol, think about, where is this leading me in life? Is this leading me towards the life I want, or the farther away from the life I want, right? Think about, start thinking logically, right? Bring your conscious awareness into it, because 90 to 95% of your actions, your thoughts, your urges, those are all coming from your subconscious mind. Meaning they're automatic programs. They're things that you learn from other people. They're things that you learned from your environment, from family members, from teachers, from peers. They're things from TV, from movies, right? They're things that you learned, but doesn't necessarily mean they came from you consciously, right? Because your subconscious mind is pulling in 11 million pieces of information per second.
Especially when you're 0 to 7.
Yeah, exactly. Between the ages of 2 and 7, you're constantly, that's why they say kids learn so quickly, right? Their minds are like sponges at that point, because their subconscious mind is hyperactive. But even when you're older than that, it's still learning. So you need to be aware of what information you're pulling in, right? And why you having the thoughts. And the really way to overcome self-sabotage, the way to stop drinking, to start, being more aware, is to be more aware. Why am I doing this? It's like Nathan was talking about. He started to think about, why am I drinking alcohol? Right? Because, I don't love myself. I'm depressed.
But then I quit the alcohol, but then I went and exercised excessively. So I was still substituting it. Just be careful that when you drop a habit, you'll pick up another one. It's to substitute that emotion, that feeling. So I was depressed and sad and all those things inside myself. So I stopped drinking. But then to still escape from my life and my reality, I went and exercised so bloody much that I was in physical pain. Then it wasn't as much, all of the emotions were there, but then it was physical pain. So I was addicted to exercise, and then I worked out, well, why am I doing that? Like, why am I running away from my life? Let's face my life and face my darkness to then overcome my biggest forms of self-sabotage, which were the porn, the alcohol, the exercise, and the toxic thoughts.
Yep. And that's what you got to do for yourself. You got to love yourself. You got to go inward. You got to look into yourself and say, why am I doing these things? Why am I taking these actions? Exactly. Really? Am I taking this action because it's something that I decided would be the best for me, or is it taking because everyone else is doing it? Right. And a lot of times you'll realize that I'm probably doing it because everyone else is doing it. Like alcohol. How many times the first time you drank alcohol, like for most people, they probably were like, oh, this is disgusting. I know the first time I drank beer or hard liquor, I was like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever had. Why do people drink this? but everyone else was doing it, so I continued to drink it, right? And then eventually you're like, oh, I like the flavor of this now. Just like coffee, I think most time people try coffee for the first time, they're probably like, that's kind of gross. Because I know I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people the first time they try coffee, they're like, that's disgusting. And then they keep drinking it and their brain gets used to the flavor and they get actually used to that feeling, which their brain is like, oh yeah, that's good. I like that flavor now. Bring it back. Right.
Yeah.
So that's important to think about. Like, why are you doing the thing that you're doing? Why consciously be aware of it, and consciously start to think about, do the research, right? This is the whole point of our talk. Not just being ignorant to what we're talking about, to any decision you make in life. If you're buying something in the store, you don't know what ingredients are in it. What are you doing? Think about it. What ingredients are in the food that you're buying? If you don't know, if you look at the back of your ingredients list, the majority of your products probably in your pantry are going to have toxic products in there. You know, there's going to be red dyes, there's going to be food colorings, there's going to be
emulsifiers.
Exactly.
You're in Australia. I don't know what the back of your label looks like, but we have something, or we have like a canola oil or something, and there'll be a number next to it. So it might be emulsifier, it might be a citric acid, food acid, and it will say like 1, 2, 87, 63 or something. It'll be a number next to it. So if you see the back of your food label here in Australia, we'll have food acid, then there'll be in brackets 63. Well, food numbers are toxic, all of them. Even the oils, canola oil, sunflower oil, vegetable oil. We have organic olive oil is a good one. Is a better substitute. Coconut oil, avocado oil. There's black seed oil, another one. But yeah, just when you're in the supermarket,
butter,
tallow. When you're in the supermarket, look at the back of the label here in Australia. You can talk about America in a minute. You'll see citric acid, food acid, emulsifier. You'll see all these ingredients in there. There'll be a number next to it. That ingredient with the number is toxic. Canola oil is another one to look out for. It's in everything. Vegetable oil is another one too. Yeah, there's heaps of. There'll be antioxidant, and then there'll be a number. There's so many, and they're between 1 and 80. So you'll see 44 and 55 and 63 and shit. That's just And it's like, okay, well, I'm not buying that.
Yeah. That's interesting. I never actually. Yeah, we don't have numbers on after our ingredients. That's interesting. You guys
should go and get one of our. I don't think we have any here, but yeah, we might do a follow up on that, and we'll get our ingredients out and we'll show people what's actually in these things. But yeah, just look out for that here in Australia. We'll talk about America now.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on, right? Canola oil. That's such a frequent oil. Sunflower oil. A lot of these vegetable oils or like seed oils are usually pretty unhealthy. The good ones, if you're cooking at high temperatures, avocado oil is going to be a really good one. It has a really high temperature because when you're cooking these things, you got to think about certain height, and that's why a lot of these vegetable oils are really bad for you, because the way that they're actually processed is they're ran through high heats, so they're actually going rancid, and then you're eating that rancid oil, and it actually turns into a toxin for your body. That's why if you're gonna be cooking at high heats, avocado oil is a good one. Ghee, which is a form of butter. Butter, tallow is good to cook.
Organic butter, though. Be careful the butter you buy as well. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, all these things we should. I mean, organic just in general, right? And what's organic? So people might be like, organic. That's just a way to make extra money on people.
At least cold pressed, anyway. It's the oil. At least cold pressed.
Yeah. I mean, what's organic, right? Yeah. Organic is just food that's not sprayed with pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. I mean, technically, sometimes there is natural pesticides or herbicides or fungicides used on them, but they're not chemical products. They're not things like glyphosate or glyphosate, right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's pronounced. Yeah. So it's not like that. It's not like Roundup, which is the same name as glyphosate. It's not like these super harmful chemicals that have been proven to be in your body still after you eat them. And we'll post a video like that. That's a 2-minute video where they took the pea samples from a family who starts eating full organic before they eat organic and after, and their chemicals of these pesticides and herbicides and fungicides went way down after they switched to organic.
Yeah, I think it was like 10 days of organic food, and after 10
really
days,
quick.
they were it's really quick. So if anyone out there is still buying the toxic shit in the supermarket and you want to go organic, well, it will take you 10 days on the organic, and you won't have the pesticides and that in you. Your body will detox it naturally.
Yeah.
And that's you go.
I say it really depends on where you are, like how much toxins you have in your body and what you're supporting your body with.
That is also true.
Yeah, probably around that time. And really depends, like, you know, some toxins in your body are going to take longer, like heavy metals and things like that. So you're going to have to look special ways to detox those. But I mean, that's be a whole nother podcast. We might have to talk about
detoxing.
Yeah, detoxing, because there's a whole lot of programming there with that as well.
Yeah, there is.
But I mean, detox in general, you want to make sure that you're not putting those toxins back into your body. That's the whole reason why you're detoxing in the first place. But you know, just the fact that you're alive right now with all those toxins in your body is amazing. Just think about that. Like your body, the human body is ridiculously powerful and amazing.
Absolutely.
Because some of us are poisoned on every level. We got the chemtrails, we got the food, the toxic food, toxic products, the fluoride in the water. All levels really. The Wi-Fi, but we're still alive.
Yeah,
we are seeing higher rates of disease, addiction, depression, anxiety, cancers. All those things are raising, partly because of we're getting poisoned on all levels, right? Mentally, with negative thoughts, feelings. We're not getting taught how to deal with our feelings. All these things are adding up. Just kind of like our talk with Paul Lindurts, or sorry, no,
Lindurts.
Yeah, Lindurts. Yeah.
Sorry, Paul, if you're watching.
yeah. That's how I always pronounce his name until I actually met him, and then I was like, "Oh, Lindurts, that's how you say it."
Yeah, Lindurts.
Yeah, Paul Lindurts. We talked about how he tried to use organic food on people to heal cancer, but it still came back, or it wasn't successful because
the emotions were still there.
Deeper. Obviously, he still recommended eating that healthy food because it gives give your body a better fighting chance. But it kind of goes into the fact that like emotional and mental actually can even still affect you beyond just what you eat. So it's kind of like a whole holistic thing. You need to look at yourself holistically. So that's why we're talking about a lot of different things here today.
We'll give you an example. All right. So if you're sad, stressed, lonely, addicted, feeling all those negative feelings, which you're allowed to feel, by the way, you're allowed to feel them. But if you're feeling that and some things that you're stuck on the self-sabotaging cycle and bad things are happening to you, and you feel, and those emotions there, so it might be loneliness, sadness, all those negative emotions, right? So if you change your diet to organic and you're eating, as we say, consciousness, you're eating love food, you're eating food that's preserved and it's very, very better for you. But if you're still feeling sad, lonely, stressed in that, the food ain't going to really do anything. As Paul said, the food's not going to do anything if you're still feeling that. So you got to work on why you're sad. Usually it involves changing something in your life or the pain or whatever it is. If you're eating the organic whole food, that's awesome. But if you're still feeling those things and not really changing anything in your physical environment as well, then you're probably going to still have, or you might get rid of the cancer, but the cancer will come back if you're not taking action in another area of your life. And that's why that's why it comes back, or that's why people find that it's still there from what I read in his book. So it does make sense.
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
What we know about the subconscious mind, it makes even more sense, right?
Yes, exactly.
The subconscious mind controls all bodily functions. So
if
you had those deep-rooted programs of like self-mutilation, which is really just self-abuse, where you are, prone to attack yourself or
the other big one
find ways to beat yourself down, well, then of course your body is going to find a way to hurt yourself, because you got to think about this. Your subconscious mind is not logical, right? That's your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind doesn't understand that, hey, this cancer or this, disease is not a good way to help me fit in with society.
Exactly.
And help me fulfill my program. It just follows these programs is really what it does. Right. So that's you consciously who would reject that, but subconsciously it doesn't.
Yeah.
So you need to start to address these things. And that's really what it is you need to address the reason why you have these programs in the first place, the root cause of cancer, the root cause of your unhappiness, the root cause of your depression. Because if you don't do that, well, then it's gonna still manifest in different ways, right? Like you switching over to the exercise afterwards, right? It's because you probably hadn't fully addressed the root cause, so you had to go to something else to find that the same satisfaction or that same solution from the exercise, a hardcore exercise, right?
Yep. I was just running away. I was running away from my life, and I was running away from my pain, and my pain would always follow me. So I was getting it from all angles to deal with it, release it, and I'm very grateful I did, and I can understand now where this comes from and how to help people understand how to release theirs as well, because it's time that we all release our pain now and become better versions of ourselves and give our children something better to mirror, mimic, and copy.
Agreed. Yep, I love that. And I was the same way, running away from pain.
Yeah.
Right. I was high 24/7 pretty much. I would wake up, smoke a bowl, I'd go to work, go to class when I was in college.
See how Tanner's not beating up on himself? Tanner's laughing about it now. Have fun with it. I used to watch porn. I used to jack off to porn all the time. I used to sit there and play with it all freaking night. I used to drink alcohol and chase women. I used to sleep with every single woman I possibly could. I'll make a joke of it now. I'll take the piss out of myself. Yeah, I used to watch porn and I fucking loved it. But guess what? I don't do it anymore. So we can laugh about it now. Like, yeah, I would beat up on myself during it, understanding it. Now it's like, oh, yeah, I was like that. Jeez, I was horny. I would laugh about it. I love that, Tanner. Let's laugh about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what you got to do, right? It's
yeah.
And sharing your story is really powerful. Like letting that out and just letting the world hear it.
Yeah.
And not being scared of the truth. And that first, that comes with not running away from your pain, right? Like you were talking about, not running away from your pain, not sedating yourself, not distracting yourself, like playing video games like I used to do all the time.
Yeah.
Smoking marijuana, drinking alcohol, partying.
What games would you play, Tanner? Tell everyone what games you'd play.
All kinds. I played StarCraft, Call of Duty, Halo,
Call of Duty. I used to play Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Call of Duty is so well known, right? That was one of the most ones. I'd stay up till like the middle of the night. I'd stay up till like 2 or 3 in the morning. Like, oh, just one more game. I hated
the online function. I was shit at it, so I would always get shot and killed. So I would never play the online version. I was too scared to because I was shit at it.
I was probably that kid who was killing you.
That was probably you anyway.
Yeah, because I was pretty
good. Grand Theft Auto is a big one. I used to play Grand Theft Auto. Well, look what's look what's in Grand Theft Auto. You got lying, cheating, stealing, killing, hookers, killing, sex, like all the kids are playing that. So how's their life turning out? Like a Grand Theft Auto game.
Yeah, I mean, and not only that, right? It's a way to escape your current reality and to run away from your pain.
Yeah, it's a way this reality over here in the video. Yeah.
It's a way to live through something else. So like men specifically are drawn to video games so much. I know for me, the person, this is true because you get that adventure feeling. And that's the adventure satisfaction fix from playing the video game, right?
Did you used to become angry?
You gotta save the woman. You gotta do all those things.
Did you used to become angry and violent playing those games?
So when I stopped playing video games as much, I noticed I started and this is what Jason would told me in our coaching session. Interestingly enough, he said I got the fight programming, and it won't always look like me being physically fighting, but verbal fighting. So I noticed when I stopped playing as much video games, I started picking fights with my wife.
Yeah, right.
Just out of nowhere, and I wouldn't even consciously think about it. All of a sudden, I know. Next thing I know, I'm like in the middle of a argument with my wife over like the silliest thing, but it's because I would say something in like a weird way that would irk her, and like consciously, if I would have thought about it, I would I know this is gonna irk her, but I would just say it subconsciously, not even think about it, and then it come out, and also I know we're in the middle of an argument. I'm like, oh shit, this is the fight program and Jason was talking about. Like I'm looking to fight because and one other way I get the fight programming is superhero movies, superhero shows, Star Wars, all those things. I like a lot of those things. So they all have the same thing, fight programming. You're always fighting. Yeah. Look at little boys, kids play. They're always fighting. They're always doing something, right? Like nowadays, so many like fake guns. They're always playing with the fake guns. They got those fight programming in, or they're always dressing up as superheroes because we got that programming in us. We want to live through that. We got that. I mean, men are naturally hunters. Men are naturally warriors, right?
Yeah.
So if we, the problem is if we get that satisfaction and that fix from video games, from movies, from TV shows, we're not as likely to go out and get that in real life. And that's what I was doing to myself. That's what probably a lot of people are doing who play video games, right? They're leveling up their character in the video game. They're getting all the good stats and the armors and the guns and, you know, the cool skins on their guns and whatever. But then they look at their life and they're like, wait, I'm not in a good spot in life. And then they turn more away from that because they don't want to think about that pain. And they go back into the video games even more. And they start drinking and smoking and doing all those things. And then next thing you know, you're in debt. Like I was in credit card debt. You know, I was getting high and drunk every day. And then I was like, well, I guess I had no more money to pay rent. I got to move back into my parents. And I moved back into my parents. And that was my big turning point. Cause I had to like, shit, I got to move back in with my parents. Are you serious? Like, I never thought after I moved out that I moved back in with my parents. I'm grateful I had that opportunity to, because obviously some people don't have that. But, you know, that was a major wake up call. Cause I was like, that's kind of embarrassing, especially since I was dating my wife at the time. We were just boyfriend, girlfriend. She moved in with me. So I wasn't able to support for her, you know. So that was really hard to take at the time, but it was a big, important thing. So I could have either used that and, you know, got more stuck in that depression. But luckily I was starting to look at Paul Chek's work, to look at my health stuff. Then I found Jason around the same time. And I started realizing, hey, I'm self-sabotaging. Why am I doing this? I thought there was something wrong with me. Cause I would go to bed really high, or, you know, be getting ready for bed really high, really drunk. Like, okay, tomorrow I'm not going to drink. Tomorrow I'm not going to smoke. Next, when I wake up in the morning, guess what I did? Grabbed a bowl and smoked. And then shortly after that, or maybe a little bit later in the day, I'd be drinking again every day. And I'm like, what the shit? Like, I keep telling myself I don't want to smoke, and then I wake up and do the exact same thing. I thought there was something wrong with me. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, you just have to have the willpower to do it.
Not willpower.
Yeah, and I was like, well, then I'm broken, because I feel like I have the willpower, but I can't do it still. Like, I tell myself I want to do it. So yeah, that's self-sabotage, right? That's a very common occurrence, and that's a lot of people get depressed over that because they think they're broken inside.
They're not broken
but
inside.
You and me both know you're not broken, right?
No.
You're working perfect. You're working exactly how you're designed. This, more specifically, those part of your mind that's working exactly how it's designed, because it's just running those automatic programs. It's like a record player. It's just going, oh, time again. Oh, hey, it's morning time. Let's get high again. It's morning time. Oh, it's nighttime for Nathan. Let's go jerk off. Right?
Yeah, it's
so
porn time. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and obviously you're not the only one who jerks off. There's most men. I did myself.
Oh, mate.
I'm not perfect, and I for marijuana, like, I struggled getting rid of that. Because I always told myself and my friends, I like, oh, I'm gonna be smoking when I'm old. I'm gonna be smoking all the time. Like, it's good for me, and part of me still believes marijuana is not as bad as some other things, right? Because it does have medicinal values in some ways.
Yeah, the plant does.
It does hold you back in a lot of ways.
Smoking it is bad. The plant's good.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you, the main problem I found with it is it makes you feel comfortable with where you are.
Yes.
And if you feel comfortable with where you are, maybe if you're in like the best part of your life and you have all the money you need, you don't need to do anything at all. Sure, you can maybe smoke. And maybe every once in a while. But if you're smoking every single day, you're going to find yourself in a rut. You're going to find yourself where I did, where you're in debt and you're like, okay, how the hell did I get here? And I don't really want to face this reality. So I'm going to continue smoking so I can feel better about my pain. And that's what I was doing, is I was just sedating myself so I felt better about my pain.
That's exactly what I was doing. But we gained the conscious awareness. We reached out. We asked for help. And it sounds like, to me, you're very similar in terms, like, porn was that for me. Like what marijuana was for you, porn was for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like, that's a good point. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. it could be your vice could be a lot of different things. It could be video games, it could be
Yeah.
porn, it could be alcohol, it could be caffeine,
Smoking.
it could be all different kinds of things, right? It could be exercise.
Yeah.
Exercise can still be self-destructive if you overdo it.
Yes.
Right? Your body needs to recover. If you're overdoing it, you're actually breaking down your body.
That's the thing now. Like on the
stress.
recovery days, I'll just go and do some yoga instead. So I'm still exercising and strengthening some core and different things. Like, it's okay to have a rest day, but you can have a rest day and just stretch and just and still move your body. You might go hang from some monkey bars or a bar. Like, go and lift your body weight, do some push-ups and sit-ups. So you're still exercising, but you're not, like, I still go for my mountain bike rides and my runs and my walks and that. But if I want a rest day, well, I'll just do some yoga and stretch and connect with myself that way as well. So I'm not putting so much pressure on my body. I can strengthen my shoulders, strengthen my core. There's other ways to exercise as well, not just having to run and lift weights and walk and do all the other things. You can stretch too. And stretching helps move your body so much. It allows you to be more flexible, and you won't have as many injuries when you're stretched and releasing some of that stuff. So yeah, stretching and yoga helps too.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's really important to get those resting days and still kind of doing
still
some kind of physical work.
Yeah, still move, but you can still rest too.
Yep, exactly. Yep, that's powerful. And pro tip, if you use your mind, and there's actually a study done, if you just think about yourself working out.
I know this is going.
They've proven they did a study where they had people who just thought about working out, and they had people who actually worked out, and they found the people who just thought about working out, like just imagine themselves doing the workouts, they gained almost as much muscle as the people who did work out.
There you go.
Now, I still recommend actually working out, but if there's a day you can't work out for some reason, take some time while you're whatever you're doing to imagine yourself. If you're going to the bathroom, imagine yourself doing a workout. If you're in the shower, imagine yourself doing some workouts, right? Like, you can do these kind of things when you have your free time. Like, you can take a couple minutes every day, just think about doing a certain kind of workout. And you can imagine yourself doing really heavy weights, right? And it can actually help build your muscles.
So how powerful your mind is.
Yeah, exactly. Very powerful mind. But I guess we should probably go back to what we were talking about. Ignorance is not bliss. That's the whole point of we kind of got a little tangent here, but I think it's all pretty relevant, right? It's talking about self-sabotage and being aware. Kind of brings us back to ignorance is not bliss, right? Don't just take our words for these things. Start looking into them. Start trying them for yourselves. That's one of the best ways to do things, is to go out and try these things on your own, because that's how you can disprove them. That's how you can see how they affect you.
Yeah. Don't take our word for it. Also, don't take the media, the government. Don't take their word for it either.
Exactly. Don't take anyone's word for it.
Don't just conform and comply and do the things they tell you to do. Don't conform and comply and do the things we tell you to do. Go and connect with yourself and find what works for you. That's the best piece of advice I could give you for free right now. Connect with yourself and find what works for you. Because what works for me and what works for those evil pricks won't work for you. So go and find what works for you.
Exactly. I mean, not all things that Nathan does, I do.
No.
There's probably a lot of similarities, but at the same time, I'm sure we have our own little methods. We have our own little ways of doing things, right? And we've also gone down different paths, which is totally fine, but we're still moving towards the life that we want. And that's really important. So, the whole point of this podcast is we don't want more people who are drone bot order followers, kind of like our school system sets us up for, right? Our school system sets us up to work the 9-to-5 job, go do something you don't want to do for the whole day, and give them the right answer or you're wrong. And that's kind of what our system sets us up. The school system, I think, sets us up inside of us, right? It sets us up to be more accepting of just taking an answer from authority figures, when in all reality, we shouldn't be accepting the answer from anyone. We should be looking into ourselves, right?
We have the answers inside.
You got to be your own independent researcher. You got to be your own conscious individual. You got to increase your consciousness and be aware of the things that you're doing, the things you're putting into your body.
Mhm.
So I mean, we can talk about more different variations of things that they've done in the past. One quick example, DDT. You know what that is? DDT. DDT is like I want to say it's a pesticide, but it was something they sprayed on people back in the day. So they would literally spray it all around neighborhoods. They would actually spray it on people. It's like a bug spray. It was like in bug spray for a while because
Yeah,
they were
right.
worried about mosquitoes and West
Oh,
Nile
yeah.
and all that stuff, right? The Zika virus or whatever was in mosquitoes. And
Viruses
so
don't exist.
spray this toxic chemical on your body, on people's body, in the pools and stuff. And turns out they said, don't worry, it's safe. There's even some like propaganda stuff where it says DDT is good for me. And it shows people like dancing and stuff. But then turns out that's banned now. They don't spray that on people anymore because it turns out it's very highly toxic and causes cancer.
And there's other ways they do it
Not
now.
good for you. So, a perfect example of don't trust the science.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, these things get released into our societies and they don't do the proper studies beforehand. Really, what society is, we're the guinea pigs, is what it is, right? Yes. Yeah, it's for profit and we're the guinea pigs. So when they say they've done studies, they haven't done enough studies to tell if it's good or bad for you. You're the study. When you're trying these things, when you're putting these things like this whole recent injection that they're doing.
Yeah, we were the trial. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, they had some very small trials that they hid. Pfizer didn't even want to release some of the documents because they were trying to like not release them for 80 years because it showed that multiple people died within them. And they haven't been peer reviewed. I mean, any injection, the CDC has admitted that any injection has not been studied to see how it affects the person's health between someone who's unvaccinated and vaccinated. So, meaning they don't compare how your health looks like compared to someone who has taken any injection. Doesn't matter if it's a flu injection, if it's one for the whole COVID thing, if it's for anything, measles, yeah, all those things. Right? It doesn't matter for any of those. They haven't tested to see how it affects your health compared to someone who's not vaccinated. Why? Why is the answer? Why is the thing that you got to think about? Why would they not test this? Because we learned, at least I learned in science class, you always have to have a control group. So why the fuck are they not using a control group? Like these are the people who are running our country, who are leading us, and we're supposed to trust. Like this is a new phrase. They didn't have this trust the science back in the day because, I mean, I think even back in the day, we probably shouldn't have trusted it. But even more now, they're trying to make it so you just trust the science. It's okay. That's not how science works. Like I said at the beginning of this, you don't trust any science at all. You look and try to disprove that science. You try to find information that contradicts it and say, is this actually true? Right? People just trusted the science that the earth was flat. And I know there's probably going to be a lot of people like, oh, the earth is flat. Well, it was disproved that it's actually round. So, I mean, if we just trust the science there, then we still think the earth's flat.
I don't think the earth's either flat or round. Here we go. This might revel some people up, but I don't think the earth's flat or round. They're lying to us about pretty much everything. I think they're lying to us about what this is too. Like they're lying to you about the fluoride. They're lying to you about COVID. They're lying to you about every single virus that ever existed. They're lying to you about the food. They're lying to you about sunscreen. They're lying to you about everything we just covered. And they're lying to you about what this realm really is.
Yep.
I've got a fair idea what this place is, and I can guarantee you right now, it definitely ain't flat nor round.
That's very interesting. I mean, and the thing is, like, it's hard to know, right? Because people don't actually talk about these things enough, and the research is, you can't really trust a lot of the research out there, unfortunately, because it's bought and paid for, it's corrupted, and that at the end of the day, if you're looking at a lot of scientific research, it's going to be bought and paid for, just like our governments are.
This is just me, though, Tanner. This is just me, and it might be some people as well, but I don't trust one single thing they tell you. I don't trust one thing that they say. I don't trust them at all.
I mean, that's totally fair. it's hard to trust when there's so many things, countless things.
But the only thing you should trust is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not your head or your ego. Trust your heart and follow your heart. Trust that. Your heart knows what's right.
Your intuition.
Yes, your heart, your intuition knows what's right, but it also knows what's wrong. So trust that gut feel. We all get gut feelings. We call them gut feelings here, intuition, whatever. Gut feels, trust that. If something doesn't feel quite right, trust it. Because if you go against it, the karmic cycles exist. And if you go against that gut feeling you have, the karmic cycles do exist on this planet. There are such things as that. It will catch up with you. It will catch up with you.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with that. I mean, we all get those feelings, but some of us may not notice them. That's the thing, right? Because actually, I was just talking.
But they notice it after the fact.
Yep.
I've spoken to people that have pushed the lie under their skin, as Jason says, that have taken this toxic jab. A lot of people I've spoken to have said, "Oh, I had a feeling that I shouldn't have taken it, but I took it anyway." Or, "Oh, I had a feeling it was wrong, but I did it anyway." So they had the feeling, they weren't aware of it till after the fact. When I asked them the question, "Why'd you take it? Why'd you do it? Do you know it's wrong?" They're like, "Oh, I had a feeling it was."
Trust your feelings.
I didn't really want it, but that's their journey. They took it for a reason. But you can come and see people like us, and we can help you detox it. But that's the thing. Like, a lot of people out there knew it was wrong, but they took it anyway. But that's the mind control job that was done. They put so much pressure on losing your job and all this other crap that they went on with. But it only lasted 12 months here in Australia, and I was back doing what I was doing again. But I definitely wasn't in the classroom. But that's the thing. They made it so hard for people, but a lot of people had that feeling that there was something wrong, but they went against it, and that's okay. So there's a spiritual component here too.
I always agree with that. You need to start thinking about and getting more in touch with that feeling, the intuition, that heart.
With what's coming in the next few months, I'll be getting in touch with all sorts of feelings. Listen to Jason's survival podcast that we'll put in the bottom of this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean,
I don't want to scare anyone, but if you get a feeling that something's not quite right, what they're telling you on that idiot box that you watch, that you call a TV, I call it the idiot box. If you watch that idiot box and they're telling you something, like a financial collapse, or your technology's gone, or something that's planned to happen very, very soon, they're telling you that, you need to get a jab or get something to get your money back, because, keep your money in the bank. I wouldn't trust the banks either. Get your money out of the bank and get some gold and silver. That's my best piece of advice. But if you're listening to your idiot box and they're saying, "Oh, you need to take a jab to get your money back," or "You need to go into a 15-minute city to get your," they're telling you wrong advice, but they're also directing you somewhere that's trying to blast you off the planet. So trust that feeling. "Oh, I feel it's not quite right that I get crammed in there. I might set up my life over here."
Mm-hmm.
Just think about that. Have that gut feeling. That gut. Everyone's got one. Everyone's got a gut feeling. Go with it. If it's wrong, don't do it. Mm-hmm. Especially with what's being planned in the next few months, few years. Go with your gut feeling. If your gut feeling saying something's wrong, don't do it.
Yep. I love that. I completely agree. I mean, it's so true. And some people ignore that feeling, and then afterwards they regret it, right?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, I wish I would have listened to that gut feeling. And don't just follow what everyone else does. Just because everyone else is getting that injection, just because everyone else is wearing the mask, doesn't mean you have to do it.
Just because everyone else in the pub is drinking doesn't mean you have to. Just because everyone around you sitting at home watching Netflix, whinging about their shitty job, doesn't mean you have to. Just because everyone else is watching The Young and the Restless and Days of Our Lives as soap operas, doesn't mean you have to. Just because everyone's watching Friends and watching all these stupid movies and stupid TV shows, I hate them all, doesn't mean you have to go and watch them yourself. People only watch these things because someone else told them to watch it, so they have something to talk about. How about talking about how you feel? How about talking about the important things in life, not a fucking TV show? A lot of people out there just talk about what they watched on TV last night.
Mm.
It's a beautiful day here in where I'm from here in Australia. Talk about the most beautiful, glorious day where there are no fucking chemtrails in the sky. Talk about that. Talk about what keeps you up at night. Talk about what's eating away at your insides, what pain you're in, what guilt you're carrying, what fear you've got, what shame. You know, talk about the inner serious things of your life to help release that out. Not talk about what happened on The Young and the Restless last night, where this company got taken over by the other company, and then they fucked each other's wives, and then they're together, and then they're having an affair over here and lying, cheating, and stealing over there. Or what happened on Love Island or these stupid reality TV shows. Talk about something more meaningful. Hold space for each other and talk about what's keeping you up at night, what your fears are, what you're carrying around, guilt and shame inside. Have some serious conversations out there. These mundane bullshit, shitty conversations. I don't know. I guess I just hear these things all the time. It's like, oh, did you watch Love Island last night? Can't believe that guy slept with this girl. Why would he do that? Who gives a fuck what happened on Love Island? Honestly. Take control of your own life.
Exactly.
You're feeding a reality TV show to live out. It's like they're living vicariously through these TV shows.
That's what they are.
Live vicariously through you. Live vicariously through the vessel God, source, creation gave you. Live vicariously through yourself. Be your own person. Take back control of your thoughts and your mind and your body, soul, and spirit. Take back control of your own life. So you're not living vicariously through a fucking TV show.
I mean, that's exactly what it is, right? We humans have what's called mirrored neurons, meaning that when we're watching TV and we watch a scary movie, that's why we get scared in the moment, right? Because we're literally imagining that we are getting scared, like in that same spot. It's like if I'm sitting here drinking this water, your mind is getting the same, lighting up the same way as if I was drinking water.
Yeah, I want to copy you and have a drink too, but my cup's empty.
Yeah, exactly. But like that, I mean, that's been proven. Like that's how humans work. So when you're watching TV, playing video games, your mind's literally lighting up the same way as if you were actually doing those things.
Correct.
Meaning that's why you're getting that fix that I was talking about from video games, and that's why you're living vicariously through the TV shows.
Yes. A lot of people are hooked on these TV shows. They literally do live vicariously through them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially when it comes to lying, cheating, and stealing, mate. They're the ones. They're like, did you see what happened on The Young and Restless last night? They took over this company, and then the husband went and had an affair on. Then it's like all the drama and everyone's addicted to the drama and the gossip and that too. Yeah, it's like they're living vicariously through those characters and that screen. Not just the daily soap operas, it's the TV shows too. It's the movies as well. It's like, you see the new Batman movie? Batman's the hero. He's going to come and save the world. It's like, no, you don't have to dress up as Batman to save the world. Just follow your heart and follow your moral ethics and your right and wrongs, and you can be your own hero to save the world. You remove the darkness within inside of you, and you follow your human heart that is more than just a human heart. That is being your own hero, and that will save the world. Save yourself first, go out there and save the world, and that's how it works.
Yep. Spot on.
You want to save the world, don't dress up as fucking Spider-Man to do it. Just be yourself and be you.
And one man can't save the world alone, right?
No.
Like that's not a realistic thing.
No.
We all have to take part of it. And the more people that awaken to these kind of things and start making these changes, like we even see it with organic food. It used to be much harder to find organic food places. Now more and more places are carrying organic food.
Yeah, it's a lot around here too.
Like surprised I walked into Walmart the other day, which I don't ever do. I always avoid Walmart. But they had like organic food in there, and obviously the food there, the organic food was not nearly like high quality as other places. I wouldn't
trust it. It's better than nothing.
I still don't trust it, but like they had organic food, meaning that more people that are pushing for organic food, the more these companies are going to try switching over.
Yeah.
They'll be aware of what companies you're getting that organic food from, because it's like Nathan says, not all organic food is the same. I recommend going to like a small farmer or growing your own food if you can, but find like
or
a
go to
small.
markets. There's a lot of farmers
Yeah.
markets around.
Oh yeah.
The local guy I talk to that owns our organic shop here, he goes to a lot of markets and sells the food he grows and sells like the food he has in his store as well. And he goes to markets and buys food from there to bring to the store that we all consume. Like I'm going to go out, like he was telling me all the markets he goes to, I'm going to go out and talk to these farmers and talk to the people that are selling the food that I eat all the time, just to get to know them and support them in that, because the organic farmers, mate, they're getting shit on right now.
Yep. And there's also a good thing to note, if you go into farmers, they don't always have to be labeled as organic, because it's a certified organic is a
Correct.
you have to pay for it. So some farmers just don't do that, but they're
Correct.
still right. So you got to ask them how they grow their food.
Yep.
Do you use what kind of pesticides, herbicides, fungicides do you use? Do you use any? And that's how you kind of know if it's going to be safe for you to put into your body.
Correct.
For the most part. You know, if you're getting meat, if you're getting beef, you want to make sure it's grass fed and grass finished. That's the best possible you can get. Antibiotic free, hormone free, right? Eggs, you want to look for, I think it's
free range.
So free range is smaller. Pasture raised is even larger. They get more land to go on.
Yeah,
technically pasture raised I think is the best.
Yeah,
these are cost a little bit more for pasture raised, but
it does.
They're able to roam. They're able to eat more things than just the small little amount, right?
Yeah, people have been reading the medical medium book about eggs and kombucha and these different things. That's just one view. It's like you find what works for you. If you like, your body will tell you if it can tolerate eggs or not. A lot of people get sucked in the the medical medium said you shouldn't eat eggs, so I'm not going to eat eggs. It's like, that's just his
high
opinion.
cholesterol.
Yeah, that's just his opinion. Like, if your body can tolerate eggs and you don't have a high cholesterol, which is another program,
it's bullshit.
Follow yourself and trust your knowledge and trust your body enough that, you know, you don't have to listen to all of these people, listen to us as well. It's like, trust your body and trust yourself. Yep. Stop handing your power away to different people that think they're going to come and save the day. You can save the day in your own life, and that will save the day for all of humanity. And
likely your family members, right? You're going to have a profound effect on your family members. The more you start to do things, obviously, and I want to touch on this because when I learned this information, I was like, oh, family, learn this. And they were like, no.
Yeah.
But over time, they're starting to adapt more to more of these things in their life because they saw the effect it had on me, right? Yep. So you got to be an example for other people. It works the same way as like when we have negative programming and we see other people do negative things, we get that into our programming. We can be that positive programming for other people. So when you heal yourself, then you can help other people as well, which is awesome and amazing. But actually, I want to touch on raw milk.
Yeah,
and raw cheeses.
We'll finish here.
It's actually banned in most states to be sold in America, in supermarkets. Luckily, in South Carolina, it's not the case. And I go to a local shop that like gets it from a local farmer. I get some raw milk. Now, most people probably are thinking, raw milk, you're gonna get a disease, you're gonna get some kind of virus, right? If you're drinking raw milk, first you want to make sure you get it from a healthy cow. And that means you have to go to a good farmer who treats their cows with respect, doesn't poison them, doesn't put pesticides, herbicides, fungicides on their stuff that they're feeding the cow, lets them free range, lets them get the grass, gives them love, doesn't put antibiotics and things like that in them.
Yeah.
Then if you drink that raw milk, it provides so many enzymes, nutrients in your body. When you pasteurize that milk, it destroys those enzymes. Pasteurization kills all good bacteria as well. And we actually have tons of bacteria in our body that's needed. Not all bacteria is bad. They have this huge war on bacteria in general. Like, it's the plague. Like, we have antimicrobial soaps, antimicrobial everything nowadays. We have everything's pasteurized, like even things that don't need to be pasteurized. It's like why is this thing pasteurized? I like look in the supermarket, like juices and things like that are pasteurized, and like, what is going on here? Everything is anti-life, pretty much. But more specifically to the milk, there's a enzyme in milk that when you pasteurize it gets destroyed. But there's a reason why so many people are lactose intolerant, because the enzyme is called lactase, and lactase actually helps you break down milk. So if you're going to be drinking milk, drink raw milk, because otherwise you're not going to have that actual enzyme to be able to break down the milk, and that's why you're likely going to have digestive issues. You know, there's better ways to get calcium, so don't listen to that's the reason why you drink milk, so you can get your calcium. You drink milk because you get some good nutrients from it, and you can get some good enzymes from it. So if you're going to be drinking milk, do that. Tell you the truth, you don't need to even have milk in your life. If you don't want it, you can get all your nutrients from other places.
Yeah,
but
I don't
if
have
you
milk.
want milk in your life, get some good raw milk from a nice cow that's treated well, that eats some good grass food. Because and if you're gonna be drinking like milks, that's gonna be the best milk you can do. If you're gonna have like coconut milks, almond milks, all those things don't even compare to actual organic raw milk, or just raw milk from a grass-fed cow that's treated correctly without hormones and antibiotics in it, right?
They can be easy to find. You just got to
Comparative.
get back in touch and communicate with the people that are selling the food that you're consuming.
Yeah, exactly. It makes a difference in your life. It really does.
Yeah.
It's amazing the difference you get, because you can really feel it. And that's where people are having no energy, right? They're low energy because you're not eating the right kinds of foods. You're not putting those foods into your body
because they're disconnected from their body.
Design. Yeah, it's right. It's like we were saying in the beginning. They're just trying to disconnect us from nature.
Yes.
Right? All things from nature are dangerous.
The natural world's toxic.
Yeah, that raw milk is, that's dangerous. You shouldn't be putting like natural alternatives for your body. That's like they're trying to like, I've heard they're trying to like outlaw some like natural alternative remedies, like using like turmeric and like naturopathic medicine, right? Yep. That's ridiculous. What they can't no idea they cannot regulate.
Homeopathy is another one they're trying to get rid of.
Exactly. Yeah. They've done this before. So like with chiropractor care and what's it called, acupuncture and things like that, like Eastern medicines,
Chinese medicine, yeah,
used to be really big back, like energy work, really big back in the day, like really big, like almost as big as it is, like probably as big as it is now, maybe even bigger. They banned it back in the day because they said it wasn't safe, and then it went away, and now it's starting to come back again because people realize actually it's actually helpful. I'll have to try to find that information and put in the link as well, because it was banned back in the day, but it was really big. It was, and people were getting great, health benefits from it. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh no, that's dangerous stuff. That's woo woo. Follow the science. And they started posting and why are they doing it? Well, they really want control of the population. How do you control a population? Well, you don't control the population who's healthy and aware and consciously aware, who's making their own informed decisions. It's much easier to control a population if they're sick, weakened, if they're not thinking logically, if they're not thinking for themselves, if they're not looking at these things, if they think ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
That
they let the news and the radio and the TV do the thinking for them.
Yep.
Take back your own thinking. Think for yourself. Yep.
Exactly. And that's the whole point of this conversation, right? Is ignorance is not bliss. You got to be your own source of information. You got to be your own researcher.
This is another thing too. These things here. This doesn't exist unless we exist. We have our own antenna source of information. We get downloads like this thing gets downloads. This doesn't exist if we don't exist. All of this man-made system is a reflection of us. If we don't exist, none of the other shit exists. The only thing that is like natural and real is nature. Like everything that is currently here right now doesn't exist unless we exist. It's all a reflection of us. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all a reflection of us. You're correct.
Because I'm saying, because when you get a download on your phone, well, we can get downloads too from source, creator, spirit, God, Jesus, whoever it is, we can get downloads from the other side, which is a reflection of this. We connect to ourselves, and our body says, "Oh, you need some water today. Go and drink some salt water." I drink salt water too. It's really, really good for you. Organic, natural, earth-based Celtic salt. Go and drink some salt water, whatever. It's like, that's a download. I can go on my phone and Google the benefits of salt, but that will tell me something that salt causes heart attacks and salt blocks your arteries and all this bullshit. It's like, your body will tell you what it wants. It's called a download. You don't need your phone to get a download. Just listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to your feelings. Like, these phones don't exist unless we exist, because we are our own receptor, our own reception cell tower. We are that. We walk around here and we get downloads all the time. That's why the phones exist, because it's a reflection of us. They're sucking our minds and sucking our power into these things, when if we don't use that and sit that over there and turn off and throw it away like I just did then, I hope it doesn't break. I do need it at times. It's we can sit with ourselves, be alone in nature, do these things, and we get downloads. It's like, you should go and message that person, see how they're going, or you might get a feeling, oh, I should have some chicken and some veggies tonight. Okay, what veggies? Broccoli. Your body will tell you. Mm-hmm. My body told me for 4 weeks that I needed milk thistle. My liver was a bit out of sort. My body was telling me that. Also spirit. My body was saying milk thistle. So I went and got the milk thistle, had a couple of doses of it over the few days. I started feeling a little bit better again. It's like my body was telling me, get some milk thistle. Okay. Yep. I just listened. Like, we always get these feelings and these hunches, and we get told to do different things from different people. We'll just listen to your body. What's your body telling you? Is your body telling you that it needs more water? Give it more water. Is your body telling you that it needs food that's real and organic and whole? Then fill it with that. You are worthy. You are enough. You are safe to eat these things. You are safe to buy these things. You're also safe to grow these things. Don't listen to what they're telling you or what someone else is telling you. Listen to what your body, what your soul, what your spirit's saying. Yep. You're not going to get the right advice on this thing either. Because if you just Google salt water, it will tell you that salt water blocks your arteries, and it's no good. Salt water is so good for you. Himalayan, Celtic, whatever it is.
Yeah, avoid the table salt.
Yeah, avoid the table salt, but get real salt, magnesium salts and all that. It's so good for us. But they tell you that it's not. Do the opposite of what they say. If they say sunscreen, sunscreen blocks the tanning that we get is our protection from the sun. I can go outside all day on a 36 degrees Celsius day here and not get sunburnt. Why? Because my diet is real and natural and organic. That plays a part too. Your diet protects you from the sun as well, right? I'm pretty tanned. I'm losing it now because we're getting into winter here. But I could go out in the sun all day and not get sunburnt. And people are baffled and they're like, what? Like, my teammates around me were like, why aren't you sunburnt, Nate? Well, I take care of myself. I have a tan. They tell you nothing healthy about a tan. It's the opposite. The tan is healthy. It protects us from the sun. Like, I'm out in the sun all the time. I don't get sunburnt because I eat real food. I'm out in the sun all the time as well. So I'm immune to the sun. You can be immune, natural immunity. I don't get sunburnt ever. Don't wear sunscreen. People are baffled. How? Why? You're some sort of crazy man. No, I'm not crazy. I just look after myself.
Yep. And there's sunglasses all the time outside. Like, I used to do that all the time, but don't ever wear sunglasses unless
they tell you not to look into the sun because it blinds you. There's a thing called sun gazing. I don't suggest Googling sun gazing. I suggest looking at some alternative information on the benefits of sun gazing, and I recommend Dr. Jack Cruz for anyone out there. Give him a follow on Facebook. Sun gazing is awesome. Yep. Look into the fucking sun. It is powerful. The sun gives us light, wisdom, knowledge, and power. Look into it. It's
well, and usually I'm pretty sure it's only looking the sun. It's only looking the sun right when it's actually sunrise or sunset.
That's what Jack Cruz says. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, the thing is also, if you just don't have your sunglasses on, and
that
you're not
natural light is so good for us.
Yeah. You're still getting benefits. Exactly. You're still getting benefits. And another thing, like when you're the sun, if you have sunglasses all the time, you're gonna confuse your mind. Your mind is not gonna be producing serotonin like it should
The
during the day.
circadian rhythm, yeah.
Exactly. And if you have your bright lights of your phone everywhere at night, or bright lights, blue light stuff, because I think you have blue light blocking glasses, don't you?
Yeah, so these are my daytime ones for the computer.
Okay.
If I look really closely, you can see the blue light bouncing off these glasses. I have a nighttime pair that are orange, and they block the lights in your home, and it makes it so that it produces serotonin and your body's ready for for sleep, basically.
Yeah,
so when it gets dark here, I flick them off and I put my blue light ones on every single night, and when I wake up in the morning as well.
Yeah.
We can put a link to the ones I get here in Australia. They're called Blue Blocks.
Nice.
They're called Blue Blocks here, so I'll put a link to them in the bottom.
Yep. Because that's super important. That's why people have trouble sleeping too. Is that
But
bright
you said
light,
there's settings. There's settings on your laptops and your phones. You can turn that blue light off. So
yeah, I do that as well. I think the glasses are. I'm not sure how much actually blocks on your settings. I have to imagine they probably don't block all of it, but definitely
the glasses or the settings.
Yeah, no, I think the glasses are probably the best
glasses
bet.
are good. Yeah, I know these are good. Yeah.
I mean, I personally don't have the glasses, but I do the settings on my computer.
What about of a night?
Put myself a pair of glasses.
What about of a night? Do you have the blue light glasses?
I don't. I need to get some.
Yeah.
It's actually it's. I mean, it's 10:07 here, so it's.
We're live here. How about you talk and I'll go and get them and show the people what I'm actually talking about.
Yeah, of course.
You just do a quick spiel. We're live, unedited, unfiltered here on the Breaking Free and Self-Sabotage Recent podcast. I'll just go to my bedroom and get them. BRB.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, so I mean, those lights really do impact your sleep. I actually did a whole podcast about this, right? When you're going to bed, your body should be following a circadian rhythm, which is the 24/7 rhythm that your body naturally follows, and usually follows the sun, right? So when the sun is going down, your body should naturally be producing more melatonin. Should be producing more melatonin so you can get more sleepy. You start to go to bed. When you're waking up, you should be naturally producing more serotonin. It looks like you're kind of having
orange. I've gone orange.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, these are the ones here. You see them?
Yeah, I do.
It's gonna model them off blue blocks if they're listening. There you go. They're really good. I wear these overnight and in the morning when it's dark.
Give this guy a sponsorship.
I should reach out to them, shouldn't I? I look different without the glasses on, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Different, yeah. There we go.
Well, you're actually kind of. I'm not sure if we're our connection is not the best, but you're kind of like. Is that happening for me too, or?
Nah, you're good. I can see you clearly, clear as day over here.
Okay, I'm sure it's probably fine. At least on your end, it's going to be recording just fine.
Yeah, I'll just show them again if it is a bit blurry on your end, but I am recording it. Yeah, it's them there. Blue light blocking glasses cost about $120.
Yeah,
doesn't cost that great. Much. Yeah,
I think I've seen you wearing them a couple of times. Yeah, blue light. Dr. Jack Cruz is amazing. Actually, I'm going to post. Yeah, I follow him.
Yeah, he's good.
Actually, he's one of the ones I learned about fluoride and how dangerous it is.
Yeah, he talks truth about everything. Yeah,
50-minute talk, like 50-minute talk about. He used to be a dentist, and then he ended up switching to something else. I can't remember what it is. Like I think like an eye surgeon or something like that.
Yeah,
and
he's awesome.
Yeah, he does like this 50-minute talk about how dentists don't know anything about fluoride and how it actually affects the biophysics of your body. And so I'll put that down below because it's super interesting. Like, this guy is so smart. You'll be amazed by this information. Actually, there's another fluoride video I'll put on where this is like so long ago. I think it was like 1950s or something. Yeah, a 6-minute video of this guy talking about how fluoride in the water is essentially murder, like assisted suicide on people. So we'll put that down below because that's really interesting to watch too. They know for a long time fluoride is straight poison to your body, and yet they're putting it in water supply. I know in my city's water supply they have
it's in ours too. Toothpaste,
and I distill, and then also in toothpaste. So if you're not toothpaste, once again, read the ingredients list, right?
It says
and if you don't know if it's in your water supply, Go to your government's website, type in your city's name, is fluoride in my water, or what's in my water in this city.
They'll tell you. They always tell you what they're doing.
Yep.
That's the thing with these people. They always tell you what they're doing. It's right there, clear as day. It's all there, but they tell you that it's good for you. Well, it's actually not good for you. It's the opposite. But they always tell you what they're doing. They always tell you what's there. It's evil in plain sight.
Mm-hmm. It really is. And that's why you need to be your own. Like, if you're just trusting that evil, then you're going to get bad results. And that's, I mean, something I like to think about, and it's a good thought process for anyone listening who's maybe like doubting anything like we're saying, or just really like, can this all be true? Right. So we are the most advanced we've ever been, right? We have the most medical advancements. We have the most ability to be able to refrigerate foods, have different foods that we don't usually have in our growing seasons. But yet we have the highest rates of disease, depression, anxiety, cancers. Why? What's going on?
Toxins.
Well, I wonder what is going on. It's almost like it's by design.
Yeah. Something fishy going on here, Tanner.
Yeah, it really is.
Fishy going on.
Most people know the government is corrupt, right? Most people know. Oh, yeah. I think if you ask anyone, they're going to say, yeah, the government's corrupt. Like, politicians are corrupt.
Just think about your taxes. They take a percentage of your pay that you work so hard for. They take a percentage of that. That is daylight robbery, and that is corruption. Even just your taxes.
Yeah, they tax your income, and then you buy food, and they tax
that too. Yep.
And then you buy a home, and you get taxed on those already taxed dollars, and you get taxed, and you pay property taxes. I mean, it's essentially modern day theft, is what it is.
Can you see this yet? Can you see this yet? Can anyone out there see this yet? Is that not? That's not moral. That's not ethical. That's not right. That's not okay.
Yep.
Ponder that.
Agreed.
That's not right. They didn't work for that money, but you give it to them to fund all this shit.
Yep. And actually, if you
it's about taking control of things, will take control of your income as well, so they're not taxing you all the friggin' time.
Agreed. Have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad or followed Robert Kiyosaki?
Reading it right now, actually. Interesting you bring it up. I'm reading it right now. Yeah.
That's a great book that talks about it. Like, he talks about how taxes didn't used to be a thing.
No.
And actually, people
here in Australia, we voted for it in.
Yeah, people voted for it in thinking that they're going to get, more things done. And what ended up happening is that
nothing got done.
Nothing got done. And all that happened is all the taxes just go to the middle class and the lower class. And of course, upper class, because most time they're smarter, financially smarter, at least, right? They know how to avoid those taxes. Yep. And there's ways to avoid the taxes in the system. It's built in. One of those ways is start your own business and start doing tax write-offs.
Yep.
Start to be more aware of it. But once again, they usually discourage starting your own businesses.
They want you working for someone else, building someone else's dream.
Exactly. What happened to the whole COVID thing? All the small businesses got shut down as non-essential.
Exactly.
All the big things like Walmart. Oh, this is essential. You got to have Walmart. You got to have your alcohol stores.
That's
it. You got to have your fast food restaurants that are giant corporations. Those ones are essential, but not the small businesses. Those are not essential.
No, not the organic food places either. No.
If you go to a small business and you have like 5 people in the place, that's much more dangerous than if you're in a line of 100 people in a Costco.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another whole podcast too on the bullshit of that too. Having 5 people is so deadly. But you can all go and touch the same food in a supermarket, and no, that's not as deadly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you can't gather at the local park across the road, but you can go to the local fruit and veg, the local fucking Woolworths or Macca's and cram yourself in there and touch all the food and spit on it and cough on it and that. And is there really a virus out there, people? Like, think about it.
Yep. You can't work out you can't
That's
go
no, you can't
go work out. That's dangerous.
So is walking. You got to put a mask on and go walk, Tanner. You can't go for a walk without putting your fucking muzzle on. You're gonna spread it.
You can still get your alcohol. You can still get your alcohol fixed.
Yeah,
that's totally allowed. Even though it breaks down your immune system, it's totally fine. It's been proven to lower your immune system when you drink.
Proven to cause brain damage.
Yep, but yet it's allowed. I mean, once you start thinking logically about these things, be more consciously aware. Yeah. That's really what it is, and that's why, in my opinion, getting rid of caffeine is so important. Because I'm not saying you can't do any logical thinking at all with caffeine, but it's going to reduce it by a ton. It's going to reduce your logical thinking capacity by a ton, just through the fact of the way it works with your lowering the blood in your brain, right? So if you're not thinking logically, you're not going to be able to start thinking about, hey, why are they doing these things? Some of this stuff was so obvious that it still stood out despite that fact. And so many people are waking up to it, because it's so ridiculous. Like they really pushed it hard on this most recent one. Like they've been doing a lot slower paces before.
I ramped it up, yeah.
But this most recent one, the COVID stuff, a lot more people are waking up to the fact that, hey, whoa, I don't like this. What's going on? They kind of got like woken out of their slumber a little bit.
I got working in mine.
Which was a good thing. Exactly. I think a lot of us were like, wow, I just like helped me realize just really how bad it is.
Yeah.
Like how corrupt the system is. The fact that they're willing to do it that hardcore.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably talk all day about all this stuff.
We could. We probably should wrap things up. So if you're out there and you're stuck and struggling, please reach out and ask for help. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. That's the piece of advice I always give. Reach out and ask for help. And as Tanner said, make the investment in yourself because it's the best investment you can make. And that's how I'll finish my spiel.
Right on. I mean, yeah, my biggest change from my life came from me when I asked for help. I thought there was something wrong with me, like I talked about. And when I asked for help, that's really where I made the biggest changes. So I think we were going to talk about Jason's self-sabotage coaching school, which is opening up again. I think every time he's done it, it's sold out because it's really good information, right? And a lot of people trust his information because he just tells the truth. So I highly recommend it. If I would have done it instead of my college degree, I can tell you I'd be much farther ahead at this point in life if I would have learned this information back then. And I would be a lot less in debt, a lot less student loans. It's such a good price. Like it's the value you get from it is amazing. This information is literally going to change your life, and then you can use it to change other people's lives. Yeah, which is one of the best gifts you can ever get. You'll be able to start understanding how this mind control works because it is mind control. And I think Jason's documentary is coming out soon too, right? The Planet Mind Control. Yeah. So that's going to be, I'm excited for that as well. But yeah, that school, like what was your experience of like the whole coaching school? I know it's obviously amazing.
I see it as I wouldn't have been able to start this podcast. I wouldn't have been able to have met you. I wouldn't have been able to meet all these awesome people. I wouldn't have been able to change my life the way I have if it wasn't for this program. If I didn't do this, I'd still be a human mess. I'd still be shagging every bird out there, every woman out there. I'd still be sleeping with everyone. I'd still be drinking alcohol. I'd still be partying. I'd still be watching porn. I'd still be thinking negatively about different things. I'd still be hating the things that I was doing. I'd still be living that life that would have driven me off the cliff. And what Jason did for me was he went, hey, Nathan, you're doing all of these things. I'm going to pull you back from the cliff. I'm going to lift you up. I'm going to dust you off. You're going to go out there and you're going to be awesome. You're going to change the people's lives, change your own, change the world. All he did was he just pulled me back from the cliff and said, Nath, you're getting very close to the edge of that cliff. This is why you're very close to the edge. This is what's going on inside your subconscious. I'm just going to pull you back. I'm going to pick you up, dust you off. And what he did for me, I'm truly, truly grateful for. And it was the best investment I ever made because I realized why I was doing what I was doing. And it was just a program and it wasn't actually me.
Spot on. I mean, exactly. That's what it is, right? It's really that's what that's what Jason's school does.
I'd be still having
It's
casual sex right now if it wasn't for
teaching.
Jason's program. I'd still be chasing women, drinking, partying, doing all those things. I'd still be living the good life, as they say. Well, it wasn't really the good life. I'd be off the cliff now.
Yep. Spot on. I mean, that's why this works so powerful, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make it so you're reliant on the person who helps you. It literally gives you the information that you need so you can understand what's going on, how you're influenced, and how you can start to take back that power and really just remember how powerful of an individual you are. Remember
awesome you are.
what your true meaning is in life. And then you can take back that power and then use that information every single day to make your life better. Of course, once you learn this information, it's not like just self-sabotage just goes away, right? I think that's important to talk about, right? Self-sabotage doesn't just disappear, right? Because society is very negative. So there's a lot of negative inputs. But when you have this information, you can understand, how does self-sabotage work? Why am I self-sabotaging? And then you can start to make sure that you have less of those negative inputs in your life. You can make sure you have a lot more positive inputs in your life. Like me, actually, I hung up a bunch of things. Let me see if I can show you guys.
Go for it.
Crazy real quick, but
the affirmations, yes. That's
I have
so
them here as well on my side. I have them all around.
That's awesome.
Those ones, they say different things, right? They say like, I am powerful. I am grounded in my adult power. I'm financially free. So, do as much as you can to make sure that you have those positive influences in your life and start removing those negative influences. And yeah, just reach out for help.
Yeah.
And make sure you check out Jason's coaching. We'll have a link to that as well, I think.
Yeah, we'll put a link to that in there.
Yeah.
Check out our websites as well. Check out mine. Check out Tanner's. See if our stuff resonates with you. Book us in. We offer free Zoom consultations. See if we're the right fit. Like, we're always here. We're always available. So reach out and ask. And it might very well, it will very well, if you do, change your life for the better. Exactly. And also those around you.
Yeah, that's the best part too, right? You help yourself, then you can start helping other people, which is a beautiful.
And sometimes you can start helping people and not even saying a word. Just your presence helps people.
Yep, exactly. And then if you guys have any comments, shoot them down below. Give us the likes, the rumbles or whatever it is on whatever platform you're watching.
There's a few of them.
Yes, subscribe, follow us. We really do appreciate it, and it does help to get this information out there to the people who need it the most. So let's boost this out there. Let's beat this algorithm that's probably going to be censoring us. And
thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And you'll hear from Tanner and I really soon. We're going to launch and we're going to do a Zoom seminar together. So stay tuned for that as well. To jump on and talk to us live. So we'll be offering that as well in the coming weeks, I reckon. So there's that too. And Tanner, thank you for jumping on, mate. I always appreciate having you on. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful that Jason's program brought us together, because I feel like I've gained a really, really true, honest friend here. And I'm so grateful. Even though you're on the other side of the world, I'm truly grateful to have met your brother. And I wouldn't have met Tanner if it wasn't for Jason's program. So it's not just the program. You meet awesome people as well. And who knows, you might be doing a podcast like Tanner and I are. So, yeah.
Yep. Beautiful. Yeah, you get a great community of people. And so grateful to have met you, Nathan, and to speak with you. It's I see great things going for both of us, and great things collaborating together going forward. Like that seminar, definitely make sure you guys keep an eye out for that, because it's going to be some great information. We're going to host a Q&A session afterwards.
Yes.
And it's the information is going to blow you away. It's going to be fantastic information. You're going to be like, whoa, what the hell? What did I just see? Like, this is really what's happening, and it's going to open your eyes to a lot. So it's going to be some good information.
And it's free.
Yeah,
that's right. I said free. It's free.
5-finger discount. Come get it.
5-finger discount. It's all free. Yep. So keep an eye out for that. And we'll talk soon. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening, watching, wherever in the world you are. And I hope that you can take some information away from this and break free from your own self-sabotage and programming. So thank you, Tanner, once again. Thank you for all. And I'll be back real soon with another awesome podcast. So thank you.